Hey friends, it is Beth with CrochetRx and Creations. Welcome back. It's been a little bit quiet around here. Not a whole lot has been going on. I've had some custom orders that I've been working on and then just work. We're down a number of people at my primary job. I'm a diabetes educator and we lost a significant amount of our nursing staff. And so I've been picking up some extra hours and just kind of head down plowing forward. It doesn't seem to be super positive. So I've also been on the job hunt as well. So we will see what's to come. I'm not quite sure where the professional journey will take me these days. So it's just not as reliable as it once was and not quite certain what the outlook for the company is. So it's been a bit harder. I've then struggled with my crojo because by the time I am done working, my mental energy is really just spent. I don't have the support team that I once did, and it certainly seems more difficult to get through the days. So not as much creative energy because of the other outside stress. You can see that there's still no headboard behind me. I'm not sure when we will work that out. If you remember, my teenager turned 16 the beginning of the year, just started driving. Well, we never received any quotes or anything for insurance. And I don't know if you've recently had a teen that has started driving, but it is $300 to just insure her. Doesn't include the vehicle. The vehicle was just really a nominal addition in August when we bought my grandfather's vehicle. This is more like a surprise as we try and figure out what our bill is going to be that, was supposed to come out beginning of this month. And so trying to figure out where that goes into the budget and on top of everything else that costs more. So certainly some struggles in there as well. I have not reopened my online store since shutting it down for Christmas. I don't get a whole lot of online orders, although I do seem to have a reasonable amount of traffic recently. But I'm still struggling with the formatting. So in the fall, I had some issues with Shopify and they suspended my financial withdrawals. And we then switched from Shopify to Square for hosting my online sales space. And for some reason, I cannot get the formatting to stay on Square. So instead of it being nice line items, it is like one smushed together run-on sentence. And I've really struggled with figuring out how to get that to stay. I'm not supposed to need the HTML. If I put the HTML in, it then shows up on my smushed together paragraph. So still struggling with that. And while I got most pictures up online when we did our end of the year inventory reconciliation, there's still some things that don't have pictures. And while I would think that people wouldn't order something that doesn't have a picture, it just kind of bugs me. So I'm more of a perfectionist and maybe I just need to let that go and open it back up. But like I said, I don't typically get a whole lot of online traffic. It's somebody that's met me at a market that more or less messages me for local pickup. So a couple things to kind of work through there. Are you somebody who's more of a perfectionist, or are you kind of just here it is, let's go? So let me know your thoughts on that. I don't know how much energy I have to keep messing with that at this moment. And maybe it's just better to just say, here's my store. So for the customs, I just finished up some coasters. A friend who's ordered a number of pens with the beach theme and her name on them. She's a fellow nurse from the Midwest, wife of somebody my husband went to high school or to college with. And she then wanted a bunch of coasters done. It's a little bit of a glare there. So she asked for 4 coasters. And so I made, and if I'm making the epoxy stuff, I just make a whole ton of them. So that one, and then I've got the dolphin. So hopefully that's focusing there. This one I put on a mermaid and tried to double layer with the charms. I don't typically stack the charms on top of each other, so I was trying to see if I couldn't get more of a different effect there to try and get the mermaid sitting on that large shell. And I got the waves to kind of go around it, and so I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And so I've got 5 coasters here. I still need to put the little rubber silicone feet on the bottom, but she ordered 4, and I've got 5 of the large ones, and then I had some additional extra epoxy, so I pulled out one of my smaller ones. This guy, I don't know if he'll focus, my little crab got little covered in waves more than I'd wanted to, but he's still cute. So those will get the feet on them, and they will head out for Iowa tomorrow. Then my other, I'm fairly certain they don't watch my YouTube. So actually, first, I was asked to make a wolf and put a red shirt on it for something that is for a school that is nearby. And we couldn't really find a wolf pattern as I was talking with the person who wanted to purchase this. So what kept coming up were husky patterns. So this particular wolf is a black and white, and then has the red for the nearby school collegiate colors. So this is the pattern that we decided upon. So cute. You know, as I'm looking at the teeny tiny little thumbnail on Etsy, I'm like, yeah, this is cute. I can do this in black and white. It'll be nice and cute. And small was my thought. The first 2, maybe. Second one, not so much. So, as I'm making this head and going through this, I'm like, this is like 3 times bigger than what I thought it was going to be. And so I show this picture to my husband and my daughter. I'm like, so how big do you think this is going to be? And they're like, well, the blades of grass are this tall and the thing is that tall. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be this tall. And I'm like, oh my God. That is not what went through my head from the little thumbnails. I thought it was going to be small. Meet my wolf. Its head is the size of my head. And just because the way the color changes are, it looks a bit asymmetrical from each side. But if like you put your hand down and count stitches, it is actually symmetrical. But because of the way the color changes faded in and out, this side looks to be bigger. It's quite an illusion there. But so you start at the head, you work your way down, you work at one piece here, down through the body, you leave holes for the front legs, you work through the bottom, you then finish the front legs, you make the back legs, sew on the back legs, make the tail, sew on the back tail, the ears, you then sew in as well. Muzzle also. This is for an adult, so I did use the safety eyes and a safety nose. So now I just need to make the red t-shirt. And originally, because I thought it would be small, I thought it was gonna be something that I could figure out how to squeeze in. No, this guy will end up having buttons down his back because there is no way I can get these front legs into a t-shirt and get it over the booty or over the head. it's just not happening. So he will have buttons down the back of the t-shirt so that could be slipped on. But I did send it to the person that had requested it, and she said she loved it. So I kind of said, this is what it has ended up like. If this is much larger than what I thought it was going to be, if this is still in line with your concept, I will go ahead and make the shirt. If not, we can look for other ideas. And she said, no, it looks awesome. So I will go ahead and make the shirt and do that. With the Olympics, I've been sitting in the sunroom. Well, it's not sunny at the time we watch the Olympics, but sitting in the area that we have the TV. It's got windows on two sides. And I spent last night just making a whole bunch of turtle parts. So it's something that it's pretty brainless. I do it. That's kind of my go-to thing for when I am distracted, doing other things, can't really count. So I made parts in 2 different colors, and I got 2 sets of the blue, and I really only got started on the head for the purple. It was supposed to be a fin, but I just kept going, and so it's a head instead. So that's what happens when you're distracted. So, but it's something easy that I can do as I sit there and watch the Olympics. And I've got my little Snoop. So I was telling my friends, you know, with Snoop and his Olympic stuff, I should take Snoop and, ooh, his hair's kind of wild there. I should take Snoop and have him watch himself on the Olympics. So we'll see. There might be a reel or a short that comes out with Snoop hanging with Snoop. So that is about all the crafting that I have done. Truly, it's just been a lot of long days working, and then if you've job hunted recently, you know what chaos that is. So as I receive suggestions from some of the colleagues that have already left and found other positions, as well as things that I find and, you know, pass along, it's a lot. So that tends to consume most of my mental energy these days. I guess I did some costuming for my daughter. I had to do some rhinestones on a hat. I had made a little short on that. And then, you know, some sewing for alterations. I currently still have one costume to do. The top of this costume comes across and then V's down. It's not a large V, but it just doesn't have enough structure, and it flaps on my daughter. So there's her and one other girl in this particular dance that happens to. So because we don't have Joann's, had to order some of, you know, the mesh fabric, that 4-way stretch mesh that you see on all the skater costumes and stuff like that. Olympics. And so I've got this one, which is supposed to be like a light nude, and it's quite light. It really looked almost white in the online photos, but then the previews said it really came out to be a good light nude. I have one that's just a little bit darker coming tomorrow, so Tuesday. So we will see between the two of them which one I choose. I'm hoping that if I sew that in nice and tight, that it will help pull that top seam line back to the body and not let it gap. The other option is to glue it to her, which we've done for other costumes. There's truly a roll-on glue, just like a roll-on deodorant is truly a roll-on glue adhesive that you then push the costume against, and it adheres to the skin. It then builds up tacky and it's irritating, depending on how long it's on and sweaty and all that kind of stuff. So I would prefer to alter it before gluing it, but we will see. Other business things that I have done lately is I ordered a table runner with the logo on it so that I can put that over the front of a table for this craft season. And because I was purchasing patterns for my wolf, and that's one of the things that's been on my list of to do. So I checked that box off. And then I also saw a furls resale post, and I purchased a whole bunch of the furls acrylic hooks in different sizes. So I'd gone on to furls to try and get a couple more sizes, and because I do just really prefer this feel over, well, this one's bigger and I don't typically use that as much. I don't have my no fire here. But I do just prefer the way that this one feels in the hand. And they didn't have a whole lot of options on the website. I think there were like 2 colors. Maybe there were a couple more colors, but they didn't come in the sizes I wanted. So I then saw it on my Facebook feed because I'm in a resale group. So I have 5 hooks coming. I think they're coming tomorrow. And so next time I will be able to show you the fun hooks that I got and the different sizes. This is the 6.5, and I really like it. So we will see what those other ones are, and hopefully they should all be the same head streamline series, so it should have the same kind of head, same kind of everything. I would also like to try a metal furls, but since I wasn't purchasing the acrylic ones on furls, I did not place a second order for one of those because then it's shipping and everything else. But I would like to try a metal furls at some point and see what I think. And maybe it would be one of the smaller sizes, maybe a 4 or a 5, one of the more common sizes that I use. But that is something that I would like to do as well. So this week I will be finishing up that t-shirt for the wolf and get that out to the person that ordered it because it's a birthday gift. And I will just be working. I have a lot of extra work hours in February because we are so short-staffed, and paying for a new teen driver. So I don't know how many videos I'll get in, how much crocheting I'll get in. I need to get better about shutting the computer off and crocheting some of these evenings, and maybe the Olympics being on will help me do that, because the mental health has been kind of trashy at the end of January as I try to work forever. So take care of yourself, take breaks, take walks, do all those things, protect your mental health, protect your energy. Do as I say, not as I do. So something to work on for myself. And I don't have any shows until March. The one that I thought I was gonna have in April changed to a May date that we can't do because we will be on the other side of the state for a dance competition. So I may be looking for one more spring show, but I do want to be picky with that. So in the meantime, I need to get this t-shirt done so that I can find something else that brings me joy to crochet. And with that, I am going to let you go today, and we will check in next time. Certainly protect your energy. Let me know what you're doing to help preserve your peace these days. Take care.